Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm excited. We have a book launch that I have been waiting for. And this is one of the first times that I'm on the screen with two of my favorite people. So, Dr. Jody and 10GColin, otherwise known as just 10G. Welcome, welcome. I am
Thank you. Thank
excited.
you.
I'm excited to have Dr. Jody on because I've never heard of a health book with 43 other authors. Until Dr. Jody, I had no idea that even existed. So I got to find out why, first of all, Health-A-Pedia as a title, and then why 43 other authors.
Why Health-A-Pedia? That's a great question. Thank you, Tenji and Martin, for having me. I am honored. I'm honored to be in your presence with two handsome and brilliant and successful men. And to have that endorsement means the world. I've just got to say, Martin, I love yours and Martin's endorsement in the book, and it means a lot. But this was really, as I call it, vision, mission to fruition. In 1984, I wrote a goal card while I was being mentored by the iconic Dr. Hulda Clark. I didn't know I was a 3-year-old health coach. I was 32 years old. Never underestimate the power of vision, ladies and gentlemen. I wrote on that goal card that I would pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR. For those of you that don't know, the PDR is that big encyclopedia that's behind every medical doctor's desk when you go in and have your checkup. I wrote the goal card. You write it down. It's etched in your subconscious mind. I found that old goal card in my filing cabinet, 10G and Martin, during the pandemic when I was helping a client whose son was off the rails with ADHD. You see, that's why I reached out to Hulda Clark, who was 70 and semi-retired, because my youngest son needed that ADHD help. There was the goal card. Now it's an infamous goal card. And I said, it's time. I had been doing some writing during the pandemic. And Martin, to answer the question that is why 40 authors, actually there are 40. The 40 is the number of balance. Think about it. Four quarters in a football game, because we were in the fall, 4 corners of a room. 4 means balance. And actually out of the 40 authors, 60% are women and 40% are men. And that's what we have in the universe right now. It's 40% male, 60% female. And 40 just was a number that spoke to me, and 40 it is. And we're doing it in all 6 pillars. This is what my brand has been forever. You see that horseshoe behind it, however it goes there with the book cover. We start spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. So you will get an expertise of just experts, like regular people that have had a health experience. You will get people that are practitioners, such as myself, influencers, and notable people in the health industry. It's got it all.
I love that. Yeah, first of all, I want to commend you on that title, Health-A-Pedia, which is amazing. And, I'm all in branding and understand that, and it just jumps out to people. But what would you say for someone who really doesn't understand, to like really review their health and find out good information when it comes to someone that's starting to be conscious of, their eating habit, the way of living? What would this book offer that's going to really jump out to them to make them live a longer life in that perspective?
And we all want energy, which creates vitality, which transcends into longevity. 10G and Martin, I'm living proof. I'm 69 3/4 years young. And oh, by the way, ladies, no work. Okay,
and it's just me. Yeah, that's right.
It's just me, Jody. So in that, what does it have to offer you? I always say to anyone, your next step in health is your next meal. You always can make that next right step. In food, I say, no food tastes as good as health feels. There are 4 testimonies in there about weight loss. That's my background. We've got 1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost in my 43 years of practice. But of those 4 people in the book, they represent 1,200 pounds of weight loss. And I actually put in my favorite recipes in the back. It's called Be a Bestitarian. Doesn't everybody want to be the bestitarian? It doesn't matter what you eat, but being the best. That's what it gives you, 10G. You can go in there because every story follows action steps. So let's say that you jump out at Rex Sykes, an influencer in the mental health industry, and you like what he says. You can go to his action steps, try that gratitude activator, and you can change yourself. You go on the social pillar. Maybe you would like to do something for your children in school. Well, check out Serena Brown's story, Les Brown's daughter, who is a youth minister and has award-winning stories about Perfect Penny in her background. So that really makes all the difference. You can go ahead and look at the story, maybe scan the story, try an action step. What would make the difference in your life, ladies and gentlemen, if you tried one action step even a week? Would you be 40% better? Absolutely.
I like that. Go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, sometimes I think we think about, our health as one of the last things, and so it's like, I think a lot of times, especially entrepreneurs, we're not really giving ourselves the space to recharge. Yes. Or to take a moment. And there may be a book about, eating well, maybe a book about rest, there may be a book about meditation. And so when I go to Amazon, there's a list of probably 45 books that so far I have. And when I think about this being in one place,
yes,
I wanted you to speak to your years in putting together these retreats that you've been doing, and the amount of homeopathic doctors that come to those retreats. And what is that? How is that framed, Health-A-Pedia? That's actually the name of the book. Thank you, Sister Jones. It's literally the title of the book is Health-A-Pedia on Amazon.
And by the way, Health-A-Pedia came because people ended up, when I would type it, it would say Health-A-PDF. It's not a PDF file for sure. So we put the commas in it, like Wikipedia, like an encyclopedia. Don't we want convenience in this age? We want something simple and quick. That's what I based all of my practice on for 43 years. I want simple, effective, and just things that will be remembered. If it's simple and it's effective, are you going to keep doing it? Absolutely. It's just perpetual. So look at this, ladies and gentlemen, people that are viewing this, that are concerned about your health, or even haven't given your health a second thought until today. It's okay. And I want to address that about entrepreneurs, but I want to address this question first, Martin, because when you go into your health, it's something you want easy, effective, simple. We've already said this. But how about if it was like the convenience store? You go into 7-Eleven, get your gas, get a drink, and get some chips, don't you? You don't stop again at the grocery store, and then you go ahead and stop, maybe, heaven forbid, at the liquor store. It's all there. You can get a beer, chips, a snack, and your gas. That's how this book was created. And I did a compilation of the people that are degreed in the book, like myself. Check this out. Are you ready, guys? It's going to blow your mind. There is 563 years of experience.
Wow.
So you can't bottle that. As Jamie Kerr said in the UK, notable author, my buddy from Les Brown said, I've been waiting all my life as opposed to get a book where I could move this movement forward. That's what it is. It's more than a book. It's a movement. And addressing this, Martin, what we're going to be doing with my partner, the renowned Dr. James Marinakis. Well, by the way, Dr. James Marinakis got his own line with the authors because he's got so many degrees. He's a naturopath, a homeopath, and a board certified acupuncture physician in multiple states. So in that, as he said on our live on Facebook, when we got together, when we did our boiler room at 11, he said, people have been asking me to write this book for 55 years and write in a book. Mm-hmm. Now is the time. I'm so humbled, Dr. Jim. I know you're going to be seeing this, that you said yes to me. Here's an example. someone who has done all of this. What is his quote? An admiral is only tested in a stormy sea. That is Eastern medical practice. Now we've come from a stormy sea to being mainstream, as Dr. Bernie Siegel said. The controversial Bernie Siegel, now at 90 years young, is mainstream. The time has come for this. And the time has come for that. And I'm not putting this down. We've all gone to these great events where you get all hyped up and you do and do and do. And they say, okay, 10G, Martin, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you ever feel like you've got to rest for a week or a month after you're done?
Right.
Okay. What we have created and what we're going to do in this model that I've done for many, many years. So has Dr. Jim. He and I have partnered up together. The first is in Boca Raton on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Why is that date important, guys? Because guess who turned 70 on the 21st? I said to myself that I was going to do something epic to ring in my 7th decade in the world. And then I realized after we booked it, it happened again. Those things just happen. There are no coincidences. It was on course because we were on course. And this retreat, and you can go to my website, drjodi.com/upcoming-events. All the information is there. It's ridiculously priced. We are going to bring the expertise of Jim Marinakis. Now, I know what he charges for a 3-day experience with him. It is not $13.95. It is not $19.95. You might as well put a different number in front of that and another zero. And it's not 1 or 2 or 3. And he commands that just because he trains the trainers. I'm so honored that I have been his student for this long. We will experience health. It will be an epiphany. Without sounding salesy, what would it feel like if you spent 2.5 days with like-minded people that wanted to improve their health, which will improve their wealth? All right. And hear from experts like Rex Sykes as well, Dr. Michael Pierce, who talks about just diet elimination because there's so many toxins in our food. He speaks my language. Dr. Gary Sanchez of the Y Institute, Dame Doria Cordova. But Dr. Jim and I are weaving this into experience. You will leave, I'm guaranteeing it, with a health epiphany. Because in the last thing I want to just address, when you say entrepreneurs, we work and work and work and work. Absolutely. Health is wealth, Mike. I really love this because as entrepreneurs, we keep thinking we've got passion, we've got heart passion, we keep driving and driving and driving. I see it all the time. You spend all of your health trying to get your wealth. And at the end of stage of life, you end up spending all your wealth to regain your health. So what if you knew, entrepreneurs, that you could balance it all? As I say in my action steps, it's 10 rituals to rock your day. You spend an extra 45 minutes. Now, Martin, have we been a little busy?
Yeah.
A lot.
I built my morning routine this morning, took me 45 minutes. So I'm ready for you. So you can live full and die empty.
That's good. That's a good. You know what? Dr. Jody also said something, 10, that I thought was significant last week on Clubhouse. Dr. Jody, can you tell everybody in the audience what no is?
Oh, no. Stands for next option.
Next option. There you go. And as you speak about next option, Dr. Jody, when I know you speak a lot about balance, right? What makes you think at this moment that, that book is so needed, or why right now?
Stress. This is easy, Martin, at 10G. Stress is at an all-time high. Yes. We don't know. What do we not know about? Everything. We don't know about what's happening with our kids. We don't know what's happening financially. We're not even sometimes sure with all of this tragedy is our creator of all here. I hear my clients even questioning that and that emotional stability because everything is off course. It's like Jason Estes, one of our young guns, who is just an amazing entrepreneur, wrote in the financial pillar. And what did he put, 10G? He said, pray once, meditate twice. That was strong, because when you pray, you talk. When you meditate, you listen.
Listen.
And even that alone is worth the $1.99 download. And what you said, Martin, make sure that you go ahead and get a book for yourself and your friend who tends to borrow books. But that's why that is so critical now. I see
on Kindle, you can actually send as a gift too. So for $1.99, you can send 10 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a just FYI, people understand. This is a 500-page book. This is not, an 80-page book or 40-page book as hiding as a pamphlet. It's because people will say, I write a book, and then it's like this. This is not that. This is this. This is literally like an encyclopedia for those of us who are of a certain age. This is just like then Dr. Jody said earlier, it's like the physician's reference, a guidebook. But go ahead, Dr. Jody. Sorry.
But it's 562 pages. Now I'm going to give our audience just a little bit lesson on numerology. 5 + 2 is 11. And guess what? Then you go ahead and you add that together and you get 3. What is 3? That is a divine number. That is a divine number. It ends up 3. This is a divine book. I believe the time is now. And everybody believes in their product. But because toxicity is so high, and because we don't know whether everybody from the government down to your next door neighbor is lying or telling the truth, is our water clean or whatever, you will get a tip from Dr. Michael Pierce about the right silica to put in your water. Let me tell you something. My husband is 12 years older than I am, and we've been doing Dr. Michael's tip for 3 months. Didn't know about it, because he's part of that heart-centered, like-minded servant leaders that I found with this book. So 562 pages, that brings it to that divine number. Excuse me. No, it's 4. Get out of town. I gave you the right number, but I like the divine thing. That's that number of balance again. It's 2. 1 + 1 is 2. It's the number 4. We're in perfect balance with this book. There are no coincidences. So when you see this, you know that this is wisdom personified. It's over 580 people in there, but maybe it's a Rob Baird who had trauma in his life, and he fixed my faucet. He's a plumber, guys. He's a plumber. He came to my door, and I have no filter, by the way, in case you didn't notice. And when he came to the door, my husband said, "Don't say what's on your mind. Just take his card." Because it was the day after Christmas. He had a red shirt, a white beard, and white hair. But his card said, "Naughty or nice, I fixed your plumbing." That was 4 years ago. We needed a new faucet. He left as my client, drinking some healthy coffee. 150 pounds later, plus his wife with 80. He now uses a pillow to do Santa Claus. But his story is a one when he got to the root of his trauma, white came off.
Yeah.
See, that's a regular guy that's going to change a lot of people's lives.
And I know we don't have much time left, but that's a really strong point. And I'm going to lean forward into that space from now until 2025, because as you said, the trauma that the gentleman experienced, once he dealt with the trauma, then the weight came off.
Yes.
We're going to be experiencing trauma next year throughout this presidential election space.
Oh, 100%.
And so there's going to be all kind of triggers and all kind of things. And it's going to be so important for us to be able to detox from all the toxicity that we're experiencing, not even in our, in our bodies, but in our brain and what we visually see, right? And I think that, as you said, going forward and thinking about, I've been around Reiki and all the woo-woo stuff. I married a psychic. So I've been around that space for a very long time. But to your point, this is one of the first times I hate at 52, this is the case. I wish I was 37 and this was the case. But at 52, I'm really starting to see how people's childhood trauma really shows up in 40-year-old adults.
Yes.
In their business.
And
then when you take them on as a client, all of a sudden this person that you've seen from afar, and you see them do their funnel, you see them have Stripe and have all the great tools, and you see them with their best business acumen. And so they're not showing up discombobulated, dysfunctional. But as you start to talk to them, as they become your client, for whatever reason they become your client, in my case, it's for marketing, we start to pull back the layers a little bit. And like, so why aren't you seeing out a newsletter? I don't really know if anybody wants to read my newsletter. But you're making $1 million over here. What do you mean nobody wants to read your newsletter? And I think that, to your point about what comes off as we take away the trauma, whatever that is, the insecurity, the dysfunctional family, the toxic parents, the child abuse, the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, all these different things that's happened to us show up in our business life.
Yes.
That's one aspect. But then now we got this presidential cycle that's going to be, 12 months of hell.
Yes. Let's just call it what it is. Yes.
And we're going to have to have tools.
Yes.
So that we can take that off, woosah, show up in our business.
Yes.
Not thinking about what we just read, what we just saw, what we just heard, what somebody just said at the gas station, or somebody just said at the supermarket, or the email you just got, like how I never lived in Florida or Texas long enough to be a part of the election cycle, but those battleground states, you're getting like 100 different messages a day.
Yes.
In ads.
I know.
So I'm excited because, as you said, taking off the trauma.
Yes.
For physical health, but now with Health-A-Pedia, going into 2024, being able to take off the trauma that I'm going to be faced with every day by this election cycle, and showing up in meditation, showing up in peace, showing up in happiness and joy.
Yes.
And counting it all a joy. Like, how am I going to find joy in this country I live in that seems to want to just produce hate? So that's going to be such a key factor, I think, in 2024, to figuring out how to daily be less stressed, be at peace, and be happy.
And at peace, less stress, be happy. Not only is there the book, without sounding salesy, this is our plan. And you can go to drjodie.com. You see, we have the in-person live retreat, but we're also going to be starting after the February retreat, a master's mastermind with the Health-A-Pedia experts. So people are going to be able to log in once a week. What if you had a Jay Nolan talking about the spiritual pillar? Dr. James Marinakis, who has created 3 different processes to heal your body from the inside out. He's created them. I mean, for real. And how he can bring that forth in you. Not only you've seen him live, but then you can practice it together. This is how we call ourselves a soul tribe. And I'm going to give our audience one tip. You don't need a cryogenic bath. This is how it's easy, simple, and effective. Remember how I said that from the beginning. Go ahead, take your walk, but there's a certain anatomic way to do your walk that I can't go into, but then go and take your shower. Go in and take your shower, not just any shower. You're going to end your shower with hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, 3 different times. You heard that number already. And try a 10-minute meditation. I prefer confidence tones to do that 10-minute meditation. Anybody has 45 minutes. Do that for 7 days and DM me on social media. Let me know how this has changed your life. You see, 21 days, like my solo book, you do this for 21 days. That's why we have these 7 chapters, 6 of the spiritual pillars, and then be a bestitarian. How can you be your best? Martin, 10G, you're absolutely right. Letting the noise go and you be in your flow. I know that rhymes, but it's really how do you stay in your flow in the present? Martin, you said it perfectly. Enjoy. because this is all we have, because a present is a gift.
Yeah, and it's so important. Real quick, last point I want you to land on. You said hot, cold. What does cold do? What does the cold do for you, for the body? What happens when we take in cold water on ourselves? What are we able to reach?
And it's on our spine, much better. You guys have it better. You stop from the top of your head. Ladies, if you're not watching your hair, you've only got to start at the base of your spine. Hot opens up your blood vessels, and then cold constricts them. So you do both together. It's an anti-inflammatory response. Number one cause of all disease, first of all, is stress. We already talked about that with trauma.
Yeah.
And then it turns into inflammation, which makes your body acidic, and then you have disease. That's just the way it goes. So it's an anti-inflammatory response. And if you shower every day, then you're doing something really good. That opening up your blood vessels, that blood flow, and then constricting, so the inflammation dissipates.
Say it one more time. 3 times. How is the hot and the cold? How does
Yeah,
it go?
do it as hot as you can. Don't scald yourself, but hot. And then go all the way down to cold. I usually count, like, do it for about a minute. Okay. It doesn't have to be long. 30 seconds each way. I'm a weenie. I live in Florida. I don't like real cold. So it gets below 60. I have to wear a sweater, and then you do hot for 10 or 15 seconds and then go back to cold, and then hot and cold, and you're done.
Love it.
See, with Health-A-Pedia, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what you don't know until you know.
So true. That's the beauty.
Well, I appreciate you, Dr. Jody, for taking time out of your busy schedule today to join us on your launch of Health-A-Pedia, which is like we said, it's a huge book. It's 500 and more than 500 pages of health tips from 43 different authors, and it's only $1.99. I mean, there's just. When I heard about it, I had to bring you on. I was like, no, listen. And I know so many of the authors that are in this part of the book. So that's another reason I wanted to have you on. And then, as we move through the year, I want to bring, you and a different author on to talk about specific things within the book. But it's great. Were you going to say something, Tim?
Go ahead. Can I raise my hand? Let 10G feel it. I want to give one more tip. I just feel like I want to. Okay. I want you guys to do this with me. Take your right hand.
I got it.
Put it on your heart. Feel your pulse.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to take you through all the trauma, everything else. Okay. Then you feel your pulse.
Yep.
Take your left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Put it over your right.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to your heart, ladies and gentlemen? It feels stronger now, doesn't it?
Right.
It beats faster. It beats strong, because we need each other in this time. And that's what this book will do.
Way to close it.
That was good. Yeah. That was the closer right there. All right, y'all. You will be watching this space because 10G and I will be doing some things together. We'll be having
absolutely.
And always take a look at today's topic, which is health, and look at it through the lens of what other things can you do to maintain your health, but also give yourself the space and grace that we all need to get through these trying times. Definitely follow Dr. Jody at Health-A-Pedia 365 on Instagram. And also she's here on LinkedIn. She's, Dr. Jody DeVere. And check out 10GColin. And of course, you know who I am. Y'all have a blessed Tuesday. We'll be back sometime with another great guest.
It's not good. All right.